if they do have this, they're going to cater to the DCEU, the MCU, the animated series, and that's it. They're not going to care at all about real comic book fans, to be honest. They're going to want the casual fans to be catered to. I'm doing superheroes first and villains separately because this on tier maker there was just two different groups. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. The characters that are 100% going to be in a Marvel vs. DC game. You got Batman, Wonder Woman, there he is, Superman right there. All right, so these three, Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. They are like the icons of comic books alone. There's a lot of Green Lanterns here, but we're obviously going to go with Hal Jordan here. Hal Jordan is kind of the go-to Green Lantern. And we got the Flash. Like Aquaman is kind of the go-to when it comes to aquatic stuff for the DC. Boom. So right there, we already got 6 characters. All right. After him, the next character that's probably brought up the most in DC, at least recently, and he's kind of turned into like the new member of the Justice League, and that would be Cyborg. Originally that spot belonged to Martian Manhunter, but as of late, they've kind of put Cyborg up and has turned him into the next member of the Justice League. Right there, they're the first 6. I think these are guaranteed 100%. I think Martian Manhunter is the next person on this list. The next character is going to be someone we're going to discuss a lot about, and that's Green Arrow. Green Arrow has already been in every Injustice game. I believe, was he in DC versus Mortal Kombat? I don't remember. Green Arrow's huge, but we're going to talk, he may or may not be in here. We will discuss that a little bit later. Black Canary is another huge character in the Justice League. I originally wanted to pick a Robin for this spot. I really did, because we need to have some young superhero here. So I picked 2 younger superheroes for this spot. And Blue Beetle is they've really been pushing him as a main character, and I think they're gonna push him because he was a popular character in Injustice too, and he has a lot of potential of being a big hero, so I think they're gonna stick with him. I thought about putting in Supergirl. I thought about that hard, and I decided I'm just gonna go against it. Where is Batgirl? I know she's in here. But I think right there, that's a good idea of what we're gonna see in a Marvel versus DC game. Yeah, you can definitely get rid of probably Jaime and Batgirl and put maybe like Grayson or Damian or someone else. I even kind of considered Stargirl a little bit here because of her popularity with the new Stargirl TV show. But I'm gonna go with no, and I'm gonna stick right here with these guys. Now, Marvel, a huge issue we're gonna run into when we start talking about these characters is Marvel and DC will have a lot of characters that are very similar, and that's going to cause a bunch of problems when it comes to creativity for certain characters. And while we're talking about that, we're just going to go right over to Marvel, and we're going to talk about Hawkeye, because Hawkeye is the prime example of this. Hawkeye definitely is going to be part of the Marvel team. There's no question there. The issue is Green Arrow and Hawkeye are like the same character, more or less. Of course, they're like this. They pretty much, they're archers. There's nothing fancy about them. They have trick arrows, all that kind of stuff, but they're essentially archers. They're kind of comic relief. That's their core character, right? There's a couple ways they can do this. One, they could just take Green Arrow's model and character they've done from Injustice and bring it over and just make a clone type of character for Hawkeye the same way they did in Smash Brothers. That is going to make a lot of people angry. They either get 100% creative, or they only put one of the same type of characters in. And if we had to make that choice, Green Arrow would probably get cut, because I think Hawkeye is way more popular than Green Arrow. However, for this roster, I'm going to keep him in for giggles, right? Well, let's start talking about the Avengers. We already got Hawkeye here, but let's talk about the main crew here. We got the Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow. That's the core Avengers that we're used to. I feel like I'm missing someone, but if I see them, I'll mention them again. Spider-Man. He needs to be in the game. There's not even a question. Spider-Man, I think, is the most popular Marvel character ever. Next up is Wolverine. Wolverine is the apex of the X-Men. Black Panther has to be in. Like, Black Panther also is just such a unique and cool character. And with the popularity of him from the MCU, of course, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, we have to put in Daredevil. And this goes to what I was talking about earlier. There are a lot of characters that are similar. And it's going to be a struggle for a lot of fans playing this game, because Daredevil is another one of those crazy popular characters and a staple. The thing is, someone like me, my favorite character is Nightwing. I want Nightwing more than anything in these games. But Nightwing and Daredevil, they're super similar characters, like super similar. And if you had to go with popularity, they're clearly going to go with Daredevil and not Nightwing. That's just obvious. So that's my opinion there. The Guardians of the Galaxy, which are super popular now, we got a bunch of choices there. And if I had to pick one, like only one, I probably would go with Gamora. First family, right? We got the original Fantastic Four. I actually went with the Thing. Thor needs to be on here. I totally forgot about Thor. Let's move on to villains. We can talk about villains. We got Thanos and Darkseid. There's, of course, a few other people that can kind of question that. I thought of Brainiac for Darkseid, and then I kind of thought of like Apocalypse for Thanos. But these are the core guys for being a bad guy. Like, they are the first thing anyone thinks of when they think of the bad guys of the DC universe. They think of Darkseid. When they think of the bad guy of the Marvel universe, everyone thinks of Thanos. To be honest, I don't want either of them. I don't want them at all. I think they have been used way too much. It's time we get some more blood out there. I'm just so sick of seeing Darkseid and Thanos. I'm just done with them. Let's get some new blood out there, but I am gonna put them on the roster. I think they're gonna be on here because seeing Thanos versus Darkseid has been everyone's dream for years. After that, we have the Joker, Lex Luthor, Doctor Doom, and Magneto. I think the next step when it comes to the most popular villains. Now, for the next couple of characters, I actually really struggled. First off, I'm gonna put in Sinestro, Deathstroke, and Bane. All right. So I also was considering Catwoman, Black Adam, Brainiac, and Doomsday. Those characters were the other characters I was considering for this list. However, I think these 6 characters, are like the crux of bad guys, and I think would complement the remaining roster. Now, for Marvel, there's one character that just needs to be on the roster, and that's Loki. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about this last one. But Mystique just makes sense because of her popularity from the former movies. Mystique was a good guy. But in the history, Mystique has been one of the biggest villains and thorn in the sides to tons of heroes for years. Now, lastly here, I don't know who to choose. I'm either going with Doc Ock or Venom as the main villain for Spider-Man. I don't know who it is. I want to say Venom is the smarter choice, but if I'm going to put my guess on it, they're going to go with Doc Ock. Now, there are 2 other characters, and we're going to talk about them really quick, and that's Harley Quinn and Deadpool. Yeah, so there we go. There's my roster right there. So we got 12 there, and we got 24 there. I got 36 characters. I think this is a great start as a roster for Marvel versus DC. And I would love, personally, for them not to put in Darkseid or Thanos. That would make me super happy. I don't think that's going to happen. I think, in fact, the main storyline is going to be something about Darkseid and Thanos fighting each other. I can almost guarantee you that's what it's going to be about, and I am going to hate every second of it. Yeah, so that's, I think that's it. But out of curiosity, who do you want if Marvel versus DC is an actual fighting game? Let me know in the comments below. For those who don't know, I stream on Twitch every Sunday. Come and hang out. I also have a TikTok where I do a bunch of goofs and skits. Come check me out there. Both of those links are in the description below, along with all my social media tags. If you liked the video today, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. My name is Phil, and of course, I'll talk to you guys soon.